from 280 to 330,000 nurses, 50,000 more nurses. That's what the NHS needs, and it's what we're going to deliver.
Yeah, but that's after you've counted the loss of 20,000 who are currently working there. But anyway, let's listen to something you said to Kay Burley recently in October.
It's absolutely clear that the NHS is off the table. And in fact, we've now got Donald Trump also to say that it's off the table. But crucially, you can...
But these meetings have not gone ahead as far as you're concerned.
Well, I didn't know about those meetings.
And you'd be furious if they had gone ahead without your knowledge.
Well, I've put a stop to it because there are not formal meetings yet. There hasn't been a formal mandate agreed. And that formal mandate, when it is agreed, will be absolutely crystal clear that the NHS is not on the table.
But those documents disclosed by Jeremy Corbyn yesterday show that there have been formal meetings discussing the relationship on health between the UK and the US.
No, there haven't been any formal meetings on the negotiations.
Well, what's a formal meeting? These are formal government documents describing discussions with the Americans. Surely that is a formal meeting.
No, because they're not. They haven't been negotiations. These are, I think they were described as scoping meetings, not actually to negotiate. And anyway, the documents, the 451 pages that were published, they demonstrate, if you read them, that the NHS is not on the table, because where the NHS is mentioned, it's mentioned as describing that it is not regarded as a major offensive ask by the Americans. So the NHS will not be on the table.
What they actually show is that when Britain leaves the European Union, we will have to renegotiate aspects of the interaction between the UK and the US in relation to the NHS. I mean, that's a fact. You can't just say it's completely off the table.
No.
It won't be.
I can. It is. And the documents prove it.
So there's going to be no discussion with America to improve or to ensure that we still have the same flow of drugs into this country. You're just going to say, we're sorry, going to stick your hands in your ears and say, no, we're not talking about anything to do with health. Is that the position?
The position is that the NHS is not on the table. So absolutely, we don't need any changes to those areas. And in fact, I make this point.
What about patents, for example? Patents will be affected by us leaving the European Union.
No, they won't.
Yes, they will, and we will have
I'll tell you what
put in place new patent arrangements, won't we?
No. And let me also say this about the impact of leaving the European Union on our trade relationship with America. When the Europeans were trying to negotiate a trade deal with America, so-called TTIP, it was the Europeans that decided what was put on the table. And we had to fight to ensure that the NHS was not put on the table, and we were partially successful. Those trade negotiations didn't go anywhere, but now that when we come out at the end of January, we will be able to decide what is in the trade deal, and the NHS will not be in the trade deal, and the changes to patent arrangements to do with pharmaceuticals will not be in that trade deal. And I'll tell you this, Adam, if the Americans say that we'll only do this trade deal if the NHS is part of it, then we will walk away. We protect the NHS, and we love the NHS, we'll nurture it, and we'll make it stronger. And we'll always make sure that we get the best prices for drugs, for instance, as you mentioned them. And we'll always make sure we put the investment that we need to in the NHS. But if they say that the price of a trade deal is that the NHS will be on the table, then we will walk away.
OK, and that will be brilliant, won't it? Because we won't have a trade deal with the European Union, and we won't have a trade deal with the Americans. That will be the Conservatives really
delivering. Well, we will get a trade deal.
Delivering all the promises
that
you've made about having a better deal with the Americans. You're now saying you're going to walk away.
Yeah, we will get a trade deal. We will get a trade deal.
Well, which is it?
It won't
Either you're going to do a
NHS.
trade deal, and you just told me you were going to walk away.
We will.